It don't matter where we go, it don't matter where we stay tonight.
Like everyone's voice, please. Or everyone is sleeping. Awesome, but कुछ ऐसे होंगे ना सर के ऊपर से जा रहे होंगे, right? So I brought one of such topics, but वो उतने सर के ऊपर से नहीं जाएगा. So किसी ने यहाँ पे CLI का नाम सुना है? किसी को पता है CLI क्या होता है? कमांड लाइन इंटरफेस. कितने लोग यूज करते हैं? How many of you do use CLI? Great numbers. Like when I was in college, I was never using CLI. Well, I was afraid of using CLI because commands याद करने होते हैं. ठीक है? So before we begin, again let me introduce myself. My name is Aditya Shah and I work for a company called ImagineCup. It's a US based company and I do a remote job. Like my friend Vaibhav told about remote job? Rohit told, right? So yeah, but then others are also there who do remote jobs unlike me. So yeah, that's a different thing. Okay, well, let's come to the topic. We'll talk about Google Cloud CLI because we are at Google Cloud Community Days. So first of all, the question is why CLI? Does anyone know why CLI? Why should we use CLI? Yes, please.
CLI is easily and so fast working.
Easy and fast. Anyone else? Straightforward. Great. Sorry? Right, exactly. Straightforward. Anyone else? Developer friendly.
Batch operation we can perform.
Sorry?
We can perform batch operation.
Batch operations. Great. Anyone else?
Control बहुत होता है.
Control. Great. So that was okay. I wrote all of this right here. So you read this and then told me, oh, is that so?
No.
Okay. Anyways, but yeah, that's the thing. So it gives better control. Navigation in the GUI can be confusing. Better speed. Why? Because you don't need to load a lot of pages, browse through those, and you can just write a command and it will execute directly. Then it consumes less memory on the computer that you are running on. For example, if you load a page, it will require more memory to load that page. It will require some computation power. Whenever you do CLI, it just uses the command line interface, the CLI, the terminal or the CMD or whatever. So it uses a lot less memory compared to other things. Then you can do automation like you said. You can perform batch operations. Batch operations as in you want to create a server for your client and also want to deploy a Nginx server on that, deploy PHP, MySQL or whatever services and then sell it to them. If you do this for every client, it will consume more time of yours. Like for example, you need to deploy 100 servers. You will need to go to Google Cloud CLI, Google Cloud and then create a resource there, then deploy all of these services one by one, which will be a lot of time taking things. What you can do is you can just create a bash script or something of that sort, deploy all of the commands there and run that bash script. And again, to deploy 100, you can just write a for loop, for example, and run that bash script for 100 times. Things from CLI. Now going to the other things. Now you'll ask me like, does all of the cloud providers provide CLI? Like, can we perform all of these things in other cloud providers also? So yes, you have AWS, you have Azure, you have Linode, you have DigitalOcean, you have Vultr. All of these platforms provide their own CLI. So you can just install their SDK or install their tools and run the CLI directly from your terminal. Cool? Any doubts until here? No. So we'll follow our topic, that is Google Cloud CLI. So what do you need to do in order to use your Google Cloud CLI? Anyone?
Authenticate.
Authenticate?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. But before authenticate, you will need to install the CLI, right? So yeah, so you'll need to install the SDK first. We work on installation. So what we need to do to use the CLI is install it first, right? After you install, so if you don't install, you can also run it within the browser, but that doesn't make any sense because you need to automate things, right? If you need to automate things, you will need to have something on your local machine or on a server where you can deploy a batch or you can deploy, I don't know, any kind of automation. So installation, how do you install? You just download the SDK from here and then run the SS, that is bash script on your laptop or your computer, right? Now you will need to authenticate your Google account. So when it comes to authentication, you will be like, how will my terminal or my computer will know that I own this Google account? Like you might have 4 or 5 or let's say 10 Gmail accounts logged in on your browser. Which one to use? How will your CLI know? To do that, you will need to authenticate that in the terminal. How will you do that? Via this command, init command, right? Now after you authenticated, now your terminal knows that this is the account that I need to use. What you need to do is you need to configure the CLI. Configure as in you will need to set a project ID. Have you, like, how many of you have used Google Cloud, the native Google Cloud? This you people have used, right? So when you use it, you will see project ID there, project name. So these kind of things are there. This is project ID, this is project number. So when you want to use these, and like you need to use these in your project. For example, you need to create a virtual machine from your terminal. So you need to tell your terminal that I need to use this project ID. How will you do that? Do that again. It's easy. Again, one command, gcloudconfig set project. Easy command. And then the name of the project. What was that? The name is here. This one. Okay? Easy? So far? So now, after you configured the CLI, what you need to do is you need to create a virtual machine, right? Why I configured this? To create a virtual machine. Now, when you want to create a virtual machine, it has a, so when you want to create a virtual machine, it asks for 2 things. What? One is the size, one is the region. Like these are the 2 things that matters. Because where you want to host it, it has like multiple data centers across the world. I want to set it up at Mumbai location in India, right? Because that's the nearest location. So I'll set it at Asia South A. Asia South A, it should be Bangalore location. But you can go to Google Cloud site and it will show you these kind of codes for each location. So you can set from there. Now, so similarly, like these are two locations that I have set here. Once this is done, now this is once you set the region. Even if you don't set the region, that's okay. Why? Because we can also pass this zone within the create instance. So when you want to create the virtual machine, you need to pass this command gcloud compute instance create. Like this is common for all. This is my virtual machine name. Getting it? So this is virtual machine name. Then machine type. Machine type is what? Like what size? The size matters. Why? Because according to the size, the cost will matter for the month, right? So what I do is I set up a E2 medium size, virtual machine. Cool. Now I need to pass the zone. Zone means the location. So hyphen zone, South Asia Southeast 2P. So that will be the Bangalore location, right? So once I do this, it will automatically create a virtual machine. How? Like this. What I did, I just typed this command, the first line. It will automatically create this. Now the name will be this, zone is this, machine type is this. Like it will show all of this information and will show it is running. Getting it?
Yes.
Now how to list instances? Again the command is there. Again a simple command. Now I have created the instance. I want to delete it. Let's see a demo. Quick and like fast. Do you know, no developer ever remembers anything. Like, you can, but nobody does. So we always go to Google, search for like what I want to do. This, like I know things, right? I can remember things, but then why? So I just copied it, and let's see. So I just pasted it, and what I will do is I will just change the name of the virtual machine. How? Like this. And as soon as I hit enter, it will automatically create the virtual machine for me. Yeah. So as soon as I hit the command, it automatically created the virtual machine for me. Like it was quick. Not even 1 minute, right? Whereas if you have created from here, it should have taken like 1 to 2 minutes, right? So this is how you can use the CLI for yourself and your projects, and you can use these kind of commands to run the batch processes. All good? That's it. Thank you.